10% of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Carl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Carl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Carl way. Keen Project Solutions, a modern engineering and construction firm, embracing technology, establishing industry-leading systems and processes, and delivering reliable results to our customers. At Keen, we are passionate about inspiring our team and our customers to achieve great things, offering the highest quality services in commercial construction to deliver turnkey projects. Our core beliefs drive us forward. Protect people, build relationships, drive innovation, and focus on end goals, bringing our customers' desired results to life. See how Keen can work for you at ThinkDifferent.ThinkKeen.com. Pre-game, Iowa State and Arkansas State. Welcome to the show. I'm Chris Williams, joined as always by Jake Brend. We are in the Northwest Bank Studios, presented by our friends at Channel Seed. Shout out to all the seedsmen and women preparing for a great harvest. It's going to be hot.
The yields are coming.
The yields are coming, baby. It does not feel like harvest season right now, and it's not going to for a little bit of time to get those guys out in the fields. But we appreciate them bringing us all of our game day coverage. Of course, Leah Nelson will be with me for halftime and postgame all across the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network. That includes YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of those spots. We're presented by our friends at Fairway Meat and Grocery. Get out and get your tailgates ready. Probably a lot of home tailgates, I would think, this weekend. It's going to be nice. I mean, unless you don't like the 90-degree heat. But I will absolutely be doing the skinless brats prior to this game, probably after this game too. Load up on some cold beer and have yourself a great time. The Fairway Meat Market is my number one spot to go to every Friday when I get up to Ames. And that's where I buy my Iowa pork. Another presenting sponsor of the Cyclone Fanatic pregame show every week during football season.
Starving now.
You just want to go and I think I might do the pork baby back ribs.
Oh, man.
That's what I think I'm going to do this weekend.
That sounds so good.
My favorite thing to put on the Traeger is the pork baby back ribs from Fairway.
I love buying like a pork loin, making pork tacos.
That's good.
A little marinade with some Iowa
hard
pork.
To beat that. Yeah, I like to do the pork butt, which takes a long time, but then you shred it up and then you do the pork carnitas. That's where it's at. That is where it's at. Iowa State is a 21-point favorite over Arkansas State, Jake. And I think Iowa State is absolutely going to roll in this one. I understand like all the, group of five thing. Why are you playing there? I get it. It's all valid conversation. I think when you look at the two teams, Iowa State's a mature football team. I don't feel like the Cyclones are like skating by anything. I don't feel like they're taking shortcuts.
Nope.
It is going to be 100 degrees there, but that's going to be the case for both teams. One team clearly has more depth. One team is bigger, faster, stronger. And I think they're a smart, mature football team. I think Iowa State rolls this game. We can still break it down because that's what we do.
No, we don't need to. We'll just.
All right, that's the pregame show.
Let's hit up Fairway. Let's go buy some pork chops.
I do think I don't want to be like overconfident or anything, but I do think Iowa State has a significant advantage here.
Yeah, it's hard to not have PTSD from that Ohio game, but I also think it's fair to look at the different spots that the teams were in. That 2023 Iowa State team, when they went to Athens, they were completely reeling, coming off of back-to-back disappointing seasons. You've got this quarterback that you know nothing about other than the fact that his dad's Anthony Becht. The team had food poisoning. Like it was a different time, and it's understandable why Iowa State fans might have a little PTSD from that. But I don't see the guys who played in that game letting the other guys take this Arkansas State game lightly. I think they go out and they probably give up an early touchdown if I had to guess, but I think they'll be able to run the ball at will and hopefully get Rocco Beck sitting on the bench with like 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
That's where it all starts for me, is the rush defense from Arkansas State. Some just absolutely
it's bad.
I mean,
bad.
Arkansas averaged 11.1 yards per rush last week against the Red Wolves. They are 130th in total defense, giving up 7.83 yards per play in 2 games. Giving up in general 6.6 yards per rush. And one of those games was against SEMO, which is a perennially bad FCS program. And they were even moving the football.
That 2022
State.
Iowa State team, I think, the bad one, beat SEMO by like 50
Correct.
If I recall. Yeah,
They're bad.
This game should be it should be a 35 not point win, but Iowa State should be able to get to 35 with ease. And at that point, it's just make sure your defense is awake. Make sure that, like, it's human nature. You're coming off of a big Cy-Hawk win. Pretty much the first 3 games have been full of adrenaline, with the opener against K-State, the home opener running out in front of 60,000 fans for the first time, and then the Cy-Hawk game. So it's human nature that your defense probably won't be as fired up as they were for those 3 games. But that's on the job of John Haycock to get them that way. It's on Jeremiah Cooper and the other senior leaders and Caleb Bacon on that side of the ball to, hey guys, if we can just get 3 stops to start this game, it's probably over and we shouldn't have to worry too much in the second half.
Let's hear from John Haycock. We have a couple of clips we wanted to play from his press conference earlier this week. We'll get into a bigger challenge for the Cyclones, but first of all, they do have Jalen Reagor, right? Like this is a Arkansas State team that
they've got some skill.
They have some skill players, and Iowa State saw them last year. It wasn't much of a threat to the Cyclones last year, but the big challenge, John Haycock's going to talk about it, is the type of field and just a totally different style of offense that Iowa State hasn't seen thus far this season.
But it's a great challenge for us now because I think it's what we're going to get into here as we work down through this whole process. So I think it's a great challenge for our guys. I think very talented guys, the speed of the game on turf, all the things. We have not played that yet. So that becomes a sense of urgency for our team. Defensively, we're going to have to play multiple people. So, if you're on the bus or on the plane, you're going to play, and you better get ready to play, and you're going to have to handle the moments. And I think it's a great challenge for our guys. I'm excited about it because we have not seen it yet. And I think it'll be, I think they do a great job of it. I think they go really fast, and they've got really talented people, and it'll be awesome for us to have to go compete and figure out if we got a handle on it.
Running quarterback, 100 degrees, that's the challenge.
Oh, yeah. And it's the turf part. When you practice on grass, I guess they do practice on turf a little bit, but when you're used to playing on grass, it slows the other team down probably by 3 to 5%. Nothing that the fans can notice, but I'm sure that it's noticeable for the players. That's why I think Arkansas State could maybe score on the first drive, just getting adjusted to that. And I'm not expecting John Haycock to be doing what he did on the last series against Iowa. I don't think he's switching up personnel to have Will McLaughlin on the edge. I don't think he's bringing Marcus Neal up to linebacker like he did against Iowa. I think this is rush 3, drop 8. If you want to trust this Arkansas State quarterback who's had some accuracy problems, if Butch Jones wants to try and go down the field 8 yards at a time, he's going to have the opportunity to do that. I don't see a world where, especially what we saw from him and what we saw from Rayner in this game last year, I just don't see a world where he's able to be patient enough to dink and dunk against this Iowa State defense all day long.
I'd also like to see Iowa State just get a big lead here.
Yeah.
And get some rest. Like let's see a lot of like our guy Rylan Barnes in this football game. Let's see
maybe some Will Hawthorne.
Yeah,
he's making the trip. I'd like to see the Gilbert kid out there.
I was going to say Jace Gilbert was a guy who pops. I mean,
I meant the pride of Gilbert, Will Hawthorne. But Jace Gilbert as well.
Yeah, well, I just like this isn't a game where Dominic Orange should be playing in the second half very much.
Hopefully not at all. I'm sure he'll. Ideally, I'm guessing he'll probably play 1 or 2 series in the third. Get him out of there.
I'm serious. Get Jontez Williams out of there. Like
Jontez, he played longer than I think any other starter in the South Dakota game, which I thought was interesting. He was playing with a lot of the 2s and the 3s. I don't know if that's a cornerback depth thing, but get every single starter out of the game.
They have young corners who they get some reps. That's where I'm at now. But before you do that, though, John Haycock kind of brought this up on his own in the press conference, and you covered it in the Daily Clone on Tuesday. Everybody, if you're not watching Jake's Daily Clone every day, you should be. But we do have some crossover. This is fascinating. I know it really struck a chord with both you and me. So the Iowa State defense is getting into a bad habit where it's not getting stops after the offense scores. Here's John Haycock on that.
We're searching it out. We're working really hard at it. Jace, our analytics director, brought it up again, to the team yesterday a little bit of just, man, we have to find ways to go out there with a mindset. And again, we've got to sort it out as coaches. And, it's got to be something we pay attention to because it's something that really can allow your team to get, get the ball back for our offense. And it's not that we're not trying, that's not it. We're playing good folks too. And they're trying to score after we score. So it's competition and all that, but it's something to pay attention to, and we're certainly diving into it.
I had certainly felt that during these games, but I didn't put everything together until
it's 4 for 4. Again, so against Power 4 teams, you can throw out the South Dakota game. Iowa State scored 4 touchdowns against K-State and Iowa. The other team has responded with the touchdown drive.
That's crazy.
All 4 times.
What are the chances of that happening, especially against a good defense?
Yeah, and I don't – it doesn't sound like Haycock knows the answer either, but I was thinking about this on my own. Like, what would be the reason for that? I'm guessing some of it is desperation from the other team, knowing, hey, we've got to be more aggressive, especially in Iowa's case.
Yeah.
When Iowa State scored, when Bramer scored, that was the first time all game where Tim Lester and Kirk Ferentz pretty much rolled out Gronowski consistently. And with K-State, I think it was a little bit weirder circumstances.
They did get desperate too with their running scheme and that whole thing. Like they don't ever like Iowa. I'd love to ask an Iowa insider like their zone run scheme, like how often they are in that compared to the gap stuff. And it's got to be 75. And they completely went away with that.
Yeah.
And that caught Iowa State off guard. And then in that Kansas State game in Ireland, you really saw they got more aggressive as far as going wide on Iowa State, and they caught Cummings-Coleman on that one. So I think there's probably something to it. I don't think it's like, Iowa State's defense is letting up after it gets a lead. It doesn't feel like that to me.
I don't think that either.
I think it's a combination of what you said, Jake, and then just kind of like a fluky stat too that will even out over the year. Yeah,
like we could get to the end of the year and think, oh man, Iowa State is still struggling in this category, but it's not going to be 100%. It's not going to be any time that a Big 12 team scores.
No.
Or anytime Iowa State scores against a Big 12 team, they'll come down the other end. I think when you diagnose the K-State one, 2 blown coverages by young safeties, I know we've talked about that a lot. That's something against Arkansas State that I think could be a concern. We saw number 20, Cummings-Coleman, get picked on a little bit by South Dakota. It's game 4 now. I think it's time for these young safeties, him and Van Dinter specifically, probably to get those kinks out of the way, not get beat over the top consistently. We didn't really see Iowa try to do it outside of the one time. So that's stuff that you'd hope over the course of the year evens out.
Thank you to Carl Auto Group for sponsoring pregame here on Cyclone Fanatic. If I'm not driving to Jonesboro, but if I did, I love driving my truck. I'm 41 years old. I've owned, 7 vehicles in my life. It's a 2023 baby diesel Silverado. It's the Trail Boss edition, and I freaking love driving this thing. I could drive it all day, every day and just be happy. I love driving my truck. I would love to drive it.
I love sitting in it.
It's comfortable, isn't it?
I can't sleep in cars, but I feel like I could easily sleep in that truck.
Oh, I just love driving it. I love my truck so much. Thanks to our friends at Carl Auto Group. Also, our friends at Keen Project Solutions, great partner of ours. If you are looking for a career that challenges and inspires you, Keen Project Solutions is growing and hiring engineers and project managers for their Ankeny and Kansas City offices. Join a team that values your dedication, fuels your career growth, and turns your expertise into impactful solutions. Visit thinkkeen.com today to apply. Keen Project Solutions, developing great people and building great projects. That's spelled Keen for those who are listening. A couple injury notes. Trevor Bohr, Matt Campbell, if he says the guys, I mean, unless he's just straight lying to us, but I had heard in Ireland that they thought Bohr would be back for Iowa. Clearly he wasn't. So this would be on timeline with that if he was going to come back. And it also makes sense, knowing what we know about his illness, to get him a little bit of run, and then he can have the bye week to get 100% for.
Yeah, Arizona. I would hope 10 to 12 snaps, especially when it's going to be so hot. You probably don't want your first game back to play 55 snaps in that heat. So get him out there for 10 to 12 and get a little bit of. Sometimes you just got to get hit. You got to hit somebody and feel back in football mode, and then go into the bye week, be 100%. And I'll be fascinated to see what they do with the offensive line after that bye week.
Well, especially, and I had reported this to our premium subscribers during fall camp, there was a real feel that Bohr was maybe the best offensive lineman during camp before he got ill. So
that's what makes it fascinating, because typically I'd think 3-0 start, hopefully 4-0 in a few days. You don't switch up what's been working. But if they really do feel like Bohr is the difference, then there's going to have to be a tough decision somewhere on that interior. Who is it that gets benched? Do you it can be really weird to change centers probably mid-season. I don't know if you'd want to do that. So I don't. Maybe they just roll out 6 guys and do a little bit of a rotation. But offensive line is out of my jurisdiction. I've just been thinking about it a little bit on. Well, it will be a little weird once Bohr's back.
They, interestingly enough, didn't sub on the offensive line against Iowa. Or
K-State.
Yeah, so they're very confident with this particular group. So we'll keep an eye on that. It doesn't seem like Aiden Flora and Carson Willick will play. No. I'm starting to wonder about the Willick thing. Is that a serious thing? We don't know. I'm looking forward to the Big 12 depth or injury reports having to start coming out here. It does seem like Flora probably is on track to be back for the Arizona game. Definitely more so than Willick. But I don't know. I'm not withholding information. We don't have it. And when we do, we'll keep asking and we'll keep passing it along when we get it. But that seems to pretty much. He did say Caleb Brazina would be back too.
Yep. Didn't sound like a concern.
No, he was very matter of fact that Caleb Brazina would play, which is good. You want as many of these guys available on Saturday as possible.
Flora, you just hope you can get him back soon.
That's a big loss. We saw that.
100%.
If you lose the Iowa game, you could almost single-handedly point at his injury.
And he's a walk-on too.
Yes.
He's become a pretty important player. But a hamstring it's a weird deal, and you got to be careful with it. And you just hope that it's a super minor hamstring injury and not something major can keep you out the entire year, even if it's not a complete tear. So you hope that these 3 weeks off will be good enough to get him to go for Big 12 play. But you do have a Big 12 returner of the year, Xavier Townsend. Hopefully what we saw in the Cyhawk game was a fluke, but that was a pretty rough debut back there for Townsend. And I think the staff probably trusts Flora more, and they have plenty of reason to at this point.
Jake, I went with my pick on the Cyclone Fanatic staff picks column that'll come out on Thursday, 51-13. Is that too aggressive?
I don't think so.
I think Iowa State will be able to score as much as it wants. The question will be how much do they want to score in the second half, and that's what would bring that potentially down.
Yeah,
maybe like a 42-13 type.
I've probably undershot it a little bit, going 38-20. But the more I think about it, with Arkansas State just coming off of the Arkansas game, I've been thinking the entire time, oh man, the heat. We saw Iowa State deal with some fatigue in the Cyhawk game. So are they. Like, you can, just because you live in 98-degree weather more consistently doesn't mean you're not going to feel the effects of fatigue. And the fact that Iowa State will be much deeper across the board, I think, honestly, the 98-degree weather could level things out a little, or not level things out, but make things even tougher for Arkansas State than it otherwise would. So I don't think it's crazy to say that, especially considering Iowa State beat a South Dakota team 55-7.
I'm changing it, 45-13. When I said it out loud,
that's probably fair.
When I said it out loud, 51 seems aggressive only with Matt Campbell. Like, I just can't imagine they're doing much other than handing it off to Dylan Lee in the second half.
Hopefully we get to see River Peppers. I know he's been hurt. We haven't seen an injury report since week 0, but I'd like to see some Dylan Lee, some River Peppers. But other than that, like that, there's not a ton of
I would love to
depth
see this
at running back behind those four. With Flora out,
and let's see these transfer wide receivers. Like, this is where they could score. Like, would it shock you if Chase Sowell had 2 touchdowns?
No, start him in fantasy.
You know what I mean, though. Like, this isn't just this is a scrimmage. Now, and that sounds very disrespectful to Arkansas State. Like,
Butch Jones better be playing this in his locker room right now.
But I say that assuming that Iowa State takes control of the game.
Yeah, in the second.
It's a usable moment for Iowa State. It's not just like, I don't believe that it's just like, let's just get out of here and just run the clock out. Like, we've seen Campbell's teams do that. They did that against North Dakota last year, where it was just like, we're just moving on.
Yeah.
I just think there's enough, offensively at least, behind the 2 running backs and with the offensive line rotation and also with the wide receivers, where you can use this to your advantage down to reps. Even Rocco with the transfers, you could use some reps in this game. Now, I don't want backed out there much in the second half, but I do think there's a way where you can grow in this football game.
Yeah, and there's cameras on. That's what Campbell talks about all the time. You don't know what you have in a guy or in a team until the lights are bright. And not that Jonesboro, Arkansas has the brightest lights in the world, but it's a little different to perform on ESPN2 than it is in the Stark Performance Center in January. Like, you can get reps in practice, and you can also get reps in this game, and you can probably learn a little something about each player when they get out on the field for the first time, or I guess a rare time is probably a better word than the first time.
Well, we're in the Northwest Bank Studios. Channel C presents all of our game day coverage. Join Leah Nelson and myself right here at halftime on the Cyclone Fanatic YouTube page, on X, Facebook, all the places where you can take in our content. I'll have my instant reaction podcast right after the game as well. And hopefully we're talking about a Cyclone blowout going into the bye week, 4-0 for the varsity football program at Iowa State University. Has a shot potentially to be in the top 10 with Big 12 play starting. He is Jake Brend. Aiden Wyatt produces the show each and every week. I'm Chris Williams. We'll see you guys on game day.